Hi guys, we're just going to introduce some boards and have a look at the various sort of design features on these boards. So first of all round boards, okay? So it's quite short, it's 10'6", gives it a good balance of manoeuvrability and speed. Okay, basically the longer the board is, the faster it's going to go, okay? And the wider it is, the more stable it's going to be. So quite wide, quite short means it's going to manoeuvre really well for beginners, but it's not going to have loads of speed. Okay? And that's the Ride 10.6, okay, good intro board. Moving up, the Sport, and this is the same width. It's a tiny little bit longer, it's 11'3" rather than 10'6". And it's got, as you can see, like a little bit more of a pointed nose. So you're going to lose a little bit of stability, you lose a little bit of volume in the nose there, but you get a little bit more of a sleek glide through the water. So we find that once people have been out a few times on intro sessions or they've come to our members paddles, they generally quite quickly want to move to a board like this because it's just got that extra glide. You can paddle a little bit faster and a little bit further. Okay? Once you get stable on one of these, that's where you want to move up to something potentially a little bit more like that. So a little bit narrower, it's 30 inches wide rather than 32. Okay, so it's still not crazy narrow. If you paddled a race board, that might be down to like 25 inches wide, maybe even less. Okay, so that's still pretty stable, but it's a lot longer, a lot narrower at the nose, and a lot more pointy. So it's going to go in a really nice straight line, really quickly, but it's not going to turn very well. Okay, so if you were to get sideways onto the wind, that's where you're going to really struggle. Okay, a couple more considerations. The depth of the board. So these boards are like 4.5 inches deep. Okay, it means that if you get a bit of a breezy day like we've got today, the wind's not going to catch that side quite so much. It's not going to blow you off course quite so much. Okay, the cheaper boards, they're a bit higher, so they feel a bit wobblier because you're higher out the water. But also, if you get sideways on broadside to the wind, it's going to blow down there and it's going to try and spin that board round. Okay, so I would consider, if I was buying a new board, trying to spend a little bit more on a board that was slightly less depth. So look for the ones that are 4.5 inches-ish rather than 6 inches. The difference comes when you start to look at these more sort of higher performance boards. Okay, a longer board like this, if we were to make this board in 4.5 inches, okay, it'd be really flexy just because it's so long. So that's where we do need to now have that extra depth. Okay, it does mean if you get sideways onto the wind, it's going to start spinning you a little bit more. But hopefully by that point you've got the paddle skills to keep yourself in a nice straight line.